The next big one, and I've seen this a lot, is ending qualified immunity. Ending qualified immunity for the police, for law enforcement across the board. So if you're not familiar with what qualified immunity is, it's basically saying that certain people who work for the government are immune from civil claims. You cannot bring civil claims against them because they're immune. So in other words, we've asked the law enforcement, we've asked police to go do something because it happens to be dangerous or because it involves trampling on other people's rights. We're going to actually give them certain protections to do that. So like you remember in James Bond, how he has a license to kill. Okay, normal people, you and me, every single day, we can just, if we kill somebody, we get charged with a crime for that, or we're liable for that. We're civilly liable for the damage that we've caused. James Bond, he's got a license to kill. He can just go take people out, and he does a good job at it in an entertaining fashion. But it's not something, he's immune from any claims as a result of that. Kind of the same thing that we're talking about here. If police are arresting you and they break your bones or break your neck or cause physical injury, well, that's just part of the game. It's part of being a cop. You get to suffer from it. You don't have any ability to file any claims against these cops. Because of that, the cops can get away with a lot, and they know it. And they know that they can hurt people, and they know that they can cause damage because it doesn't matter to them. It just goes over to the police department. The police department's union deals with it, and the union hires attorneys, and it goes to the department, and they all, they reach a settlement with the city council. The city council writes a check for $25,000. Little note is made in the cop's file, but they're not personally liable for that. They're not going to lose their house. They're not going to lose their car. They're going to just go on about their business and continue to do the same thing that they were doing previously. They're going to continue to enforce the same way that they were enforcing and hurt people and injure people and break things in the same way because they know that there is no liability for them. So if we end qualified immunity and we say, we're going to open this up, we're going to allow you to sue the cops. If a cop is actually harming you, you have a claim against them. So just like somebody can come and sue me or sue you for basically whatever they want, we're going to open up that liability for the cops too. We're going to say, you don't get a free pass. You don't get to just go around and do whatever it is you want anymore. You have to think about your actions. You have the same standard of liability that you or I have. Now, I have a big problem with how this works with law enforcement because they fly under the radar. I've covered this many times on this program. Every time a cop gets in trouble, we hear it was a generic cop from so-and-so department. A Minnesota state trooper today has come under fire for, allegedly calling a black man racially derogatory terms and so on. But what was his name? And how many other disciplinary records did he have? And what's his Brady file look like? And has he ever been disciplined? And, how many other complaints have been filed against him based on race and so on? We don't know any of that stuff. It's not public. Many of those records are destroyed after a certain period of time because of immunity and those types of things. And so there's no recourse. They know that they're protected. So if we end those things, we pull those protections out and we say, now you're liable for your own actions. What is that going to do? Is it going to cause police officers to think a little bit more when they are going to go and put their knee on somebody's neck? I would certainly hope so. I'm going to guess that it would, but would it have done anything to prevent George Floyd's death? I don't know. I think it's a little bit more likely to have caused some change, or in Breonna Taylor's case, you've got 7 or 8 SWAT people kicking in doors and just firing rounds haphazardly. If they were all liable in Breonna Taylor's case, maybe they would think twice about that. Maybe one of them would have double checked and said, are we at the right guy's apartment or not? Hey, Lou, you want to call and check and make sure we're apartment 10B is the right one? Maybe they would have checked and Breonna would still be alive. Or maybe one of these other 3 cops would have said, hey, Derek, you're going to kill that guy. We're all going to get sued, arrested, and charged with crimes. Maybe take your knee off of him. But they didn't. They knew that they had qualified immunity. But if we took qualified immunity away, would they think differently about it? I would like to think so, but I just don't know specifically. I don't know what they would do. But it is a step in the right direction, and I think it is something absolutely worth exploring. There's a different video that happened that I recorded with another attorney here named Scott Griffith. It's on our channel if you want to watch that. It's all about qualified immunity, some of the rules surrounding that. I do think it is an appropriate reform. I'm happy to see that there are some politicians. I believe Justin Amash is somebody who's talking a lot about this and actually filed a bill in Congress to see what we can do to remove it. But ending qualified immunity, in my mind, I think it's still reactionary. It's not as proactive of a type of reform as we would like to see otherwise.